seriously also say that whatever sufferings you had that day, they're going to be charged for it. You run around for hours, right?
Yeah, around 4 hours.
4 hours you just walk to one hospital after another and looking for me, correct?
Yeah, flushing us.
Okay, they have to be charged for what they have done to you.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is all serious stuff. Okay, now I will tell you the rest of the story. So I was shipped, right, handcuffed at the check-in desk. The nurse says, "So what brought you here?" I said, "I really don't know. Ask the police officer," right? That police officer immediately said, "She's a bipolar patient. She's been on medication for the past 2 months." I never met him before. That police officer, I don't know him. I have no medical history that he could potentially have access to. Derun and his wife never saw me seeing any doctor, eating any medicine, right? So I don't think Derun and his wife will make up some data say, "I was bipolar patient." But that word bipolar only comes out from one person, that's Jian Xingbao. Because he told me that I had to go check on my check on doctor, which refers to what he lied to the court in Seattle, that his sister suffers from bipolar. And it is his girlfriend who faked the medical diagnosis to label Dr. Wang to be bipolar. You see? So that's why I know Jian Xingbao was involved for this case. I asked the police officer, "Where did you get that from?" The police says, "Someone who is very close to you told me."
This is the Jian Xingbao.
He was not very close, but if he claimed to be my brother, certainly the police officer will say he's very close to me. If he claimed to be my brother, who can be close to me, correct? So based upon all the information, I predict it was Jian Xingbao who lied to the police. When the police basically asked the landlord, Derun, does she have any relative? Derun knows Jian Xingbao's number. Most likely then Derun then says, yes, Jian Xingbao, because Derun even considered Jian Xingbao to be the tenant, correct?
Yeah.
So I think definitely it's Jian Xingbao, okay? So that basically led, me to be immediately handcuffed and shipping into the mental unit of the medical center, Long Island Jewish Center. So I was still handcuffed. We were heading inside of the unit with metal doors, layers, right? So I told the police officer, I said, "I think it's time for you to unlock my hand now." And the other police officer says, "No, the physician will do it." But that police officer, who was sitting by my side throughout the journey, about 20 minutes to Long Island Medical Center, I was talking to him. I told him, I said, "What do you think if your mother is in my position? Are you going to deprive your mother food and water and for no reason make her handcuffed and go through this?" I said, "This family has been following the CCP hate propaganda and they are discriminating me. Why you are treating me like this?" I was telling him the truth. So it got into his mind. He started to understand that I was not someone that he could treat me like that. I think he started to be repenting. So he said, yeah. He said, "I misunderstood you. I'm gonna open your hand." So he unlocked my hand. Okay. Then I went in there and they asked me to take off all my clothes and put on the mental patient's clothes. They consider that, this is something that anybody shipped over here has the potential to harm themselves. So earrings, necklace, clothes, shoes, everything, nothing can go inside. You have to totally change into whatever they want you to wear. I even brought back the pants and the socks. I used it as evidence. I took it back I asked for it. I said I want to keep it, you know. So basically then as soon as I got into that changing clothes process finished, a lady came in, like a nurse like a figure says, do you have medical insurance? I said no. Then we're gonna apply for you for Medicaid, you know, those for poor people, right? I said no. I said I'm a Falun Dafa practitioner, and we have our, you know, understanding about human health, and we don't take a medicine treatment. So I said that's my faith, and I don't accept Medicaid. So she said okay. She walked away. Okay. Then I went inside this whole close-up unit, and the first thing is like, okay, now go to the bathroom and take your urine sample. And that's what I did. I gave them a little cup, you know, and then put it on the window. And nobody was there. No doctor, no nurse, nobody. Only other people also in those mental patient clothes, you know. They had this little room, about 4 little rooms in that section with television and a bed, right? And I'm not entering it, right? So I sat down in the hallway on the bench and I started to meditate. And when I was meditating, I think those were like called assistants, medical assistant, 8 people, 2 ladies and a man. They start to ask me questions like, oh, is this Tai Chi? No, I said it's called Falun Dafa. And they said, this is very nice. Can we see the website or something? So I showed them websites, you know. And then they say, oh, why are you here? I said, you know, this is what happened. And they were like, oh, this is really bad, right? So we start to chat and, you know, they become friendly. And so then I went back again to my meditation. I recite Falun Dafa teaching, I meditate. And I observe what was happening in the whole system. So when I was there, young people, college students, about four of them, one after another were shipped by police to camp come in. I was the first, and then, you know, a whole bunch of people shipped in, all young. The one is a Queen's College student, a young girl, okay, and then 2 other college students were all shipped in, and they were, you know, one was taking a lot of blood. The other was very annoyed and want to be released, but they were ignoring him. So I did my Falun Dafa exercise. I answered everybody's question about Falun Dafa, and that's pretty much all I do. But I noticed that this young college student, she was emotional after another person commented on her clearing up her throat all the time. Another person came in and said, like, this is disgusting. Why you do that? Stop doing that. This girl became a little emotional. She was crying a little bit. 2 men jumped right onto her, pulled right her into the little, you know, room and injected tranquilizers onto her. She was screaming, I don't want it, you know. And when I went to try to take a look at her, they were like, you cannot come here, go. Yeah. So I returned to my bench and I continued to meditate. That's basically what I did. During those meditation, there was one lady came over, says, can I measure your blood pressure? So I give her my arm and she wrapped up the thing, and then it's a stand of machine, and then after she finished measuring, she gave me a reading. She said, everything is normal. That's it. Okay, so-called service that they are charging $2,350. That was the service I got. 6 hours. Okay.
Yeah.
When I finished all that, I heard the doctor finally showed up around 6 o'clock after 6 hours, right? The doctor says, who's Dr. Lotus King Weiss, right? Oh, I'm here. Dr. Lotus, are you ready to go home? The physician says. I said, yes, I think it's time, you know. I said, doctor, you know, I'm here and I think your patients will benefit from this great practice called Falun Dafa, right? That's what I told the doctor. The doctor says, it's not in my power to do that. And then he said, your taxi is going to be here in 3 minutes. Get ready. And then he said, in the future, don't argue with your landlord.
Mm.
And I said, they lied. I didn't argue. You know. And he smiled. And then I followed the nurse and went out and I changed my clothes and I went outside of the hospital and a cab was already ready. And I went onto the cab and the cab was paid for already. So I was shipped back. And I called Noah as soon as I entered the cab. And the cab driver heard my story and he said the following words. He said, in this world right now, some bad people, they as if are feeling very happy. But God sees everything. Whatever they have done to you, they are doing to themselves. That cab driver says. He said, don't be upset. I said, I'm not upset at all. I believe that what you said is true. And I said, let's continue, to be good and be strong. So that's basically my journey. And so today we received the bill and they claim to be a discount and it's $2,320 for what I did in the hospital to deliver. Basically, I delivered 6 hours of consulting for the Long Island Jewish Medical Center. I will charge them for it.
Okay.
Okay.